Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Gabriel. I'm at my farm in Loxahatchee, Florida called Symbiont Tropical Fruit Farm. And I just want to give you a little intro to what I'm doing. So the idea with this farm is to ultimately be a tropical fruit farm, of course. Right now it's vast and open. I've only been here about 5 months now. And in those months, most of the time has been clearing out all the trash that was here. There was a lot of fences here. There was barbed wire all over the place. And there was also a big mound of sand. So using that sand to grade the area so that the water flow was, to raise the lower areas and even everything out. So now I'm at the point where just now I have finished planting all the seeds, and I want to explain exactly what that means. So in an accumulation style system, a syntropic system, the idea is to start with plants that are adapted to the level of maturity of the land. So a good analogy I like to use is you wouldn't give algebra to a 10-year-old. Maybe there's some 10-year-old that would take the algebra, but most 10-year-olds just want to play with Legos and they want nothing to do with algebra. So you give them Legos, and because that's the stage of maturity they're at. Eventually they'll get to algebra, but they're not yet there yet. So that's the idea with this accumulation style, is that if you want to plant something that is outside of the stage of maturity or succession that the land is in, then you need to bring external inputs to compensate for what the stage of succession does not offer. So I've planted 3 seeds in a grid. So if you see right here, there's a line right here, 24 feet and a half. There's a line right there. There's a line over there. The whole property is on a grid with these lines. So eventually this will be where the fruit trees will go. And going this way, it rained yesterday, so it's kind of hard to tell where the other lines are, but it should be all the way across. Right here is one, and then another one. I need to put posts to mark it so I don't lose it, but I can still kind of tell. So for now, what I have planted is pigeon pea, leucaena, and castor oil. So you might say castor oil, leucaena, those sound pretty invasive, and my answer would be yes. That's exactly why I'm planting them. So generally invasive plants like Brazilian pepper, castor oil, all the ones that get a bad rap are generally plants that thrive in the placenta 1 of an accumulation system, meaning the most degraded land. So coming here, and what I'm starting with is barren land. It's just, it barely has any grass on it at the moment after the whole grading. So if I were to come and put a mature tree in the middle of that, first of all, it would be lonely. It would not have all the nutrients that it has. It would be in full sun, so it would get burnt. It just wouldn't thrive, right? So, but castor oil, leucaena, pigeon pea, these are all plants that thrive in these pioneering placenta stages. So that's what I'm doing. I'm planting them at no spacing, at literally like an inch. So the whole thing was seeded here. I can show you what I was using to seed it. So this is what I used. Got the pigeon pea in here. This is the only pigeon pea that was left. And so I first marked all the lines using a tractor and this laser thing that maybe I can make a video about later. But yeah, so first drilled this line of pigeon pea on each row from corner to corner to corner, everywhere. And then I came by hand and spread leucaena seeds and castor seeds. So the reason why, maybe there's a better method. This is my first time doing this, so I don't know. The reason why I didn't use the seeder on the other two is because since I'm drilling them on the same line, literally on top of each other at the same density, I didn't want to disturb the pigeon pea. So say I didn't want to disturb the first seed that I planted with the seeder when I went to plant the second seeds. So yeah, I did the next two ones by hand, and it was pretty time consuming, but I think it's going to be well worth it, because the idea is I'm giving the land the opportunity to choose. I want it to, I don't want to say, okay, I want to grow this seed specifically here. No, the reason why I'm choosing 3 is because that was the maximum amount of seed that I could possibly acquire in the given time that I had to seed this whole thing densely. And so the castor I got from the side of the road, I can maybe do a video about that too. Literally between, on the side of Okeechobee, it's this highway in the middle of sugarcane fields, and it's a mound of rock, and the castor just seeded there, and there's a whole castor forest. So that's where I've been getting my castor from. Lucana also from like empty lots. All this is information I've learned from Scott Hall. So definitely check out Scott Hall Syntropia. He has an amazing online community that I highly recommend joining, because there's a wealth of knowledge, not only from him, but from a ton of farmers around the world doing syntropy, and all collaborating and contributing to this working body of knowledge. You know, it's not set in stone. It's definitely something that is being figured out every single day and is being perfected. So yeah, this is where I've learned this from, this idea of seeding very densely. Scott Hall calls it the infestation seed, the infestation rows. So yeah, so the idea is to create these walls of these placenta 1-2 bushy species that will start the forest going. You know, it will bring, birds will eventually perch in there, and they'll start pooping seeds that maybe are like hardwood trees or later succession trees, and those trees can, you know, then that becomes the framework of the farm that I can prune, plant into. You know, it's easier to prune something than to wish you had planted it. So the idea is to plant the whole thing at once with these seeds, so that even if maybe I'm doing something on the front of the property and I don't have time to work intensely on the back, there's already ecology, there's already biology in the soil happening, there's already succession. I'm just getting it started. So it gives me, yeah, it's just a healthier way for the land to have it covered. You know, everything wants to be forest. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I'm doing. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.